Yes, yes, yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cyber Safety Net Stay Safe Online, episode 103. My name is Anthony Germanos, and I will be the presenter today. Today, I'm presenting which drive is best. And there are three options. There's the magnetic drive, the solid state, and the new kid on the block, the M2, which is actually a solid state, but smaller and faster. Today's episode is sponsored by How Hacks Happen, my fourth book. In How Hacks Happen, there are two personas. There's me, Mark, the good guy who wants to protect you, and there's Brad Cracker, the bad guy who wants to rip you off. Brad Cracker is a hacker. He's good at hacking, he thinks it's easy, and he likes the easy money. How Hacks Happen, available at Amazon. Now back to the show. In episode 102, I presented the CIA triad, or confidentiality, integrity, availability triad. And there are three sides. Of course, confidentiality, integrity, availability. Today I'm talking about your storage media in your computer. And I'd have to say this falls into the integrity category. And that's because when people open up a Microsoft Excel workbook, they want to see data they can use, not computer garbage. I'm going with integrity for this one. There are three general drive types inside your computer that is holding your operating system, your applications, and your data. There's solid state, which has been around for decades. The general strategy with this is that you have at least one aluminum platter that's spinning and a head that is above it. It's hovering above it. Some drives have heads hovering above and below. They don't touch, but they do all the read-write activity. And some of these drives have multiple platters. For the desktops, you're looking at 5,400 rotations per minute, but I've seen them go to 7,200 rotations per minute, and 10,000 and 15,000. And of course, they're faster, but it becomes a function of how much do you want to pay, because the more speed you get, the more you get to pay. Then we have solid state. And I've been a fan of these for a long time. In fact, over 10 years ago, these were at 100 gigabyte for $800. And I blogged about them heavily. Nobody bought them because they were expensive, but now the price is more reasonable. I've seen these at 1,000 gigabyte, being terabyte storage, for $100. And next up, the new kid on the block, the M2, which is a solid state drive, but smaller and faster. I've seen reports that show these at 5 times the speed of the solid states. And that's because these connect to the system board with a PCI Express slot, whereas these two require a SATA cable. The cable, I've seen them up to 2 feet long. So the data transfers through that cable to the system board and then to the CPU, or central processing unit. Whereas this doesn't need a cable. It just connects directly to the system board. The data has a much shorter path, and that's partly responsible for these being faster. Now, before you run out and buy the M2, just ask what you want to pay, because the magnetic drives are the cheapest and the M2s are the most expensive. And of course, in the middle, we have the solid state. I don't think storage is cost prohibitive anymore, because storage is stupid cheap these days. But still, you'll find that when you go shopping for computers and you look at the drives that come with the computers that come with the solid state or the M2 typically are more expensive. It's partly because of the storage media, partly because you're getting higher quality components altogether. Let's also talk about the speed. This is the slowest. The M2 is the fastest. And of course, the solid state is the happy medium. Now, a few years ago, I had a client that bought 22 computers with these, and these failed a lot. I went to the client and said, we have these magnetic drives and we have a 40% failure rate. We should get rid of them. We should bring in these. These are solid state. They have no moving parts. They create less heat. They're more stable. And of course, they're faster. He said, yes. Then I replaced all of these with these. And guess what? The days of hard drive failures came to an end. Solid state drive to the rescue. Yes, this is the best mirror graphic I could find. It's time for you to decide. Do you want to go cheap? No, I'm not a fan of going cheap. I'm a fan of having everything work reliably. I believe in 99.999% uptime. But there are those who will go cheap and be happy buying a new computer after 18 months. Not me. And then there are those who will pay more for a computer with the M2, knowing that this is the fastest available. And there are those who choose the happy medium. It is up to you to decide how much you want to spend. And if you're shopping for components like a new storage media or a new computer in general, set a price point, then go shopping. You know what, my friends? We're done. I know your time is valuable. I know there are other things you could have been doing, but you chose to be here listening to me talk about your storage media and telling you how you can spend more for higher speed and more reliability, or spend less to save some cash. I thank you. I hope you're having a good day.